one of the things I love about you specifically that you quoted with this tangent of both the spiritual and the science, you said, knowledge without application is merely entertainment. Boom. I mean, that's a mic drop of its own right there. So many of us, we get caught, what I believe, in the gathering phase, Renee. We just gather, we listen to podcasts, we read the books, we do all the things, but like the bridge of connection to our soul, either connected or disconnected, is the thing that actually makes us do the things. It actually allows us to practice a new script. So when did that first come to you, that phrase, that knowledge without application is merely entertainment?
Well, I've always, so I've done some pretty remarkable things in my life. From a very, very young age, I started traveling the world extensively on very little money. People are like, how are you doing that? When I started my own business, I put myself into a profession where I was an anomaly. It was primarily older Jewish men and families and Persian and Middle Eastern men, and here it is, I'm this like white chick that's like all of a sudden in the jewelry business. And they're like, how are you doing this? How are you actually like, conducting business in such a closed sort of environment? And I would just say, I don't know. I just show up to the trade shows and go talk to people and I just do it. Like, why does it seem that hard for you to understand? And I would get a lot of questions of how I was actually doing that. When I bought my boat and I learned to sail it single-handedly, how are you doing that? First of all, how did you afford a boat on your own? I mean, I was living quite a lifestyle in Los Angeles. How are you sailing it by yourself? And I was like, I'm just doing it, right? Like I couldn't quite understand what the challenge was for people to, I couldn't put it together. Like, what do you mean I'm just doing it? And later, after I read Reality Transurfing, I realized what that thing was exactly that I was doing. I was lining up with that version of reality via a pretty simple 4-step formula that was, allowing me to experience these different versions of reality pretty easily. And then as I started to coach people, I don't do it anymore. And the reason that I don't coach people anymore is exactly what we're talking about right now. People would come to me and say, my life's messed up. I'm not happy professionally. I've got a bunch of problems with relationships and family. I'm feeling unfulfilled. Blah, 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 blah. And I'd say, okay, so I'm going to give you this set of things to do and start doing them and you'll see improvement. And more or less, and I know this is quite general, people loved the idea of transurfing. They loved the conversation, the concepts, all the stuff, the way that it made them feel. But at the end of the day, they lacked the desire or the intent or the ability to actually take action in their lives, to get off their butts and actually move in the direction of that version of reality. So this is kind of like the key to the alternative space is action. And it also solves a lot of our perceived problems in reality. Action, 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 action. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Somebody asked me recently, how many people do you feel you actually affect in what you're doing with getting transurfing out to the world? And I said, honestly, maybe only about 10%. And the person said, well, why do those 10% gain the benefit and the other 90 don't? And I said, it's action. The 10% that are gaining the action are actually taking my words, my videos, my lessons, my course, whatever it is, and they're applying it to their lives and they're seeing results. And I've been very candid and open about this on my YouTube channel. If you're here to be entertained, awesome. I will entertain you. But if you think your reality is going to change just by the fact that you're entertained about what I'm talking about, then have fun with it, and then on to the next modality.
What is it about these people?
It doesn't work.
The 10% then? What is it about these 10%? Is it their soul contract that allows them to take that inspired action? Because listen, you could just take massive action. You could row the boat in the wrong direction. Your arms will get buff, but you'll never reach the shore. So why do those 10% of people feel either the inspiration to take that inspired action or just to take a calculated dream-based action? What is so special about these 10%?
Well, I think that action is like the the alternative space, everything that has been, is now, will be, where all inventions come from, languages, every variation of reality, right? Everything that's outside of us, including us. When you take action, you open yourself up to different streams of variations. You access different variables, different doors, people, opportunities, ways to network. And a lot of people their minds are fearful of the variables. So they stay confined into what I call the box of limiting beliefs, right? And it's within this box that most people feel safe, that they don't have to ever challenge themselves or take a step in a direction that may be a little too out of the comfort zone or unknown, and it's really just a matter of perspective. The 90% that are just entertained and don't actually take action are fearful of all the variables, whereas the 10% of people that take action view those different variables in a positive way, right? And understand that, there's an infinite number of ways that you can shift around in your reality, and just taking one small step outside of that box of limiting beliefs or box of comfort, right, opens you up to even more. And exponentially, all those variables start to increase and multiply when you exit that box. For most people, this is very, very, very scary. For my parents, very scary. For other people in my life, very scary. For some other people I know, like my partner, he read Reality Transurfing. He quit a corporate job of 20 years and is now a thriving entrepreneur in a very lucrative space, and really just thrown himself into the alternative space. Some people just have the guts to do it, and other people don't.
Oof. Let's pause right there. What comes up for me is the phrase spiritual courage. Spiritual courage. You can only embody spiritual courage when you have an experiential learning of the process.